warning. I repeat, warning. I will not count Dan Straley as a trade deadline move. I will not accept that as going out and getting a starting pitcher. What is going on, everyone? The Philadelphia Phillies at the deadline only made one move. We know what they did to get Drew Smyly. We know what they did to go out and get Vargas. But in terms of at the deadline and what are they going to do by 4 o'clock, they only made one move, and that is to acquire Corey Dickerson. Now, before we get on to my feelings on the entire deadline as a whole, and even David Robertson, because that story pissed me off when I read it, let's just talk about Corey Dickerson and what he can bring to the table for this baseball club. We really did give up nothing. It costed us an international bonus money, right? Some international bonus money and a player to be named later. So you really didn't give up anything for a rental of Corey Dickerson. In 126 at-bats this year, he's hitting .317. He has 4 home runs, 25 RBIs, a .376 OBP. But break it down into the last couple weeks or so. The last 2 weeks, he's hitting .467 with 6 doubles, 2 home runs, and on base, 21 of his 37 appearances. So he does provide a little bit of juice there when it comes to hitting. Also keep in mind, with where Jay Bruce is, and apparently he has been taking some fly balls, so he's starting to get back from that oblique injury. He can play in left field, have Adam Hazley in center field. That can bring Scott Kingery back to the infield, maybe put Michael Franco on the bench. So you're going to have different looks there. It gives you an option. It gives you different options, and when Jay Bruce comes back, who's going to come off the bench? And then you have one of these players, either Bruce or Dickerson, coming off the bench in pinch hitting spots, so you don't need to use players like Brad Miller and, everything else we throw in there, the slop we throw in there for pinch hitting opportunities. Roman Quinn, things of that nature. You have a professional hitter, and I do like that. I think this was a really good move by Matt Klentak. I didn't expect it when I saw the name. I was intrigued. Okay, that's a good player, but realistically, I am not loving the entire deadline because we didn't get a starting pitcher when it came down to this 4 o'clock window. To me, that was the move. You had to get another starter. I'm not living and dying off the Vargas trade. So, from that aspect, you failed. I like Corey Dickerson. It was a good move by Matt Klentak, but he didn't finish the job. All he had to do was pick up one more starting pitcher, and I think everyone would have been a little bit more involved, a little bit more into this deadline. But you failed there, and realistically, I'm a little shocked that I'm this stunned with it because they've stated this. You had upper management come out and state to us they weren't going to make big moves because they didn't believe we were one piece away. So why am I shocked? I don't know. I don't know why I'm shocked. Really, I don't. Now, MLB Network reported that the Phillies weren't going to give up Spencer Howard or Alec Boehm. And guess what? That's fine, but we still have other prospects. We still have other players that we could have at least tried to move to acquire somebody. But we didn't. We didn't acquire anyone. So realistically, what did we add to this team? Drew Smyly and Vargas. We added some bullpen players there. 2 of them from Minnesota, and also Corey Dickerson. So we did make a little bit of a move. But take a look at what the Braves did. They attacked their bullpen, right? They get Shane Green. They made other moves. You look at what the Washington Nationals did. They attacked their bullpen. I don't know if we got better as good as those teams did. That's where I'm trying to get at here. I don't think we got better than the Braves or better than the Washington Nationals with the moves we made leading up to the deadline. So I'm underwhelmed. I'm underwhelmed with what we did. Essentially, we have our upper management giving us half-ass effort. That's how I read this. This is half-ass effort. Well, let's try and do something to maybe make the wild card game, but we don't want to do too much because we're afraid we don't. Like, what? What is that? I don't understand the message upper management is giving us. They're giving us 1 foot in, 1 foot out. How can you sell a fan base that? After what you did all offseason long, how can you sell the fan base this? I always gave props to upper management for realizing we're not one player away, but I've mentioned this. Going out and grabbing a pitcher, Mike Minor, Robbie Ray, Matt Boyd, players like that, it's not just for this year. You need to think ahead. If they were a rental, fine. I understand not making a move for that. Or let's go with this. I understand not giving up your better prospects for them. But if you're attacking someone who has years of arbitration, it's not just for this year. But fine, if you wanted to go the route of grabbing someone, if you wanted to go with the route of, here's someone who's a rental, but at least help your ball club right now, someone like Roark, and that was a name the Phillies threw out there. I'm not just spitballing that. Roark was on the table, and he goes for a prospect that means literally nothing to the Oakland A's. So, if that's the case, fine. Give up an A prospect to someone who's playing an A ball that has no chance. Give up one of those for Roark for the rest of this year. I'll live and die with something like that, but they came out legitimately flat and going in with Vargas as the big-time lefty acquisition after Drew Smyly. Underwhelmed. Let's talk about Let's talk about this David Robertson thing. I'm not mad that he's injured. Injuries happen. He's an older relief pitcher. I'm disgusted with the news that we find out today. He's possibly going to need surgery, maybe even Tommy John's. But then there's a report where he's in the locker room and he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's going to go get some more looks. I mean, he's been hurt since week 1. He's been hurt since spring training. And now we find out this late in the season that he might need Tommy John's? What has happened? What has happened throughout this time frame where he didn't know what was going on? I mean, it's either you have it or you don't. You need surgery or you don't. What's been going on? I mean, I don't get it. So that's embarrassing. It truly is embarrassing that this much time has passed and now you're finding out that you might need surgery? Think about all the time you wasted. We signed this guy for a 2-year deal where if he needs Tommy John's, guess what? We're not even going to see him next year. So this was botched. This whole situation was botched. How about this stat? We paid $26.7 million for 30 innings out of Tommy Hunter, Pat Neshek, and David Robertson. Oh, yeah, that's great. Woohoo. This situation pisses me off because this is mismanaging what's going on. There's no way you waste that much time not realizing how serious this injury was out of David Robertson, and now he doesn't even know. You're hearing the news, oh, it's potential, he might need it, he might not need it, oh, he doesn't know yet. Well, what? I mean, how hard can it be? We're talking about professional medical staffs. How hard can it be to figure this out? Does he need Tommy John's or not? And why did it take from March, April, to essentially August to see this? I don't know. This blows my mind. The deadline as a whole. This is the first year the deadline was one deadline. You don't have the buyouts or the waiver situation there in August. This is the way it should be. You have one deadline, you make it happen. I hate the fact that people think it's too early in the season. You don't know if you're going to buy or not. You don't know if you're going to sell. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. This is where you make your moves. And at 4 o'clock, nothing was really splashed yet. And then all of a sudden, Ken Rosenthal, all these reporters are blasting out all these tweets. Greinke goes here, and I'll have a podcast or a video up later on discussing the overall MLB moves. I want to keep this to just the Phillies. But in regards to the 4 o'clock one trade deadline thing, that's easily the right move. It should be one. But I sat there after 4 o'clock praying, come on, Clentac, surprise me, wow me. Guess what? Take a wild guess if he wowed me or not. He didn't. I like Corey Dickerson. That was a good move. Overall, underwhelmed. If he would have grabbed another starting pitcher, I would have came out of here with a little bit more oomph. Corey Dickerson and a starting pitcher? Okay, now we're talking. Isn't it crazy that Vin Velasquez, Nick Pivetta, and Zach Eflin, the 3 guys that this team expected to be part of the starting rotation, all bullpen. All went to the bullpen this season. Shouldn't that tell you something? Well, right now, the Phillies are battling for that wild card spot. There's a mix of us. The Nationals somewhat fell a little bit. They're trying to battle it out with the Braves right now in a tough series. The Phillies are hanging in there. And this is a move at the deadline where the Phillies management is saying to the fan base, just hang in there. Let's just hang in there and we'll see what happens. This isn't our year. I don't like that. I don't like that mentality. You can believe that that's true, but you can execute it differently. Once again, going out and getting a pitcher that has arbitration rights and having more years left on their contract, it's the best of both worlds. Sure, you don't have the full team to win a championship this year, but this helps you out now, and it helps you out in the future. Because we're going to need to find starters next year, too. And we don't have them just growing on trees down there in the minors with our prospects. Let me know your thoughts down below on both of these situations. Getting Corey Dickerson, not getting a starting pitcher. And, make it 3, David Robertson. Because to me, that's a sick joke. Sick joke. No clue how it can get to that degree. None whatsoever. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.